Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot to Bloomberg we go, where they say robots are coming, and they're coming for your job. As much as 800 million jobs they foresee being replaced by robots and artificial intelligence by 2030, the equivalent of more than a fifth of the total global workforce. And if we take a look at the global workforce today, and we look at who would be affected most, believe it or not, it's not the United States. The two countries that would be affected most by this would be China and India, believe it or not, because that's where a lot of your manufacturing has moved to. Bloomberg says as many as 800 million workers worldwide may lose their jobs to robots and automation by 2030. That according to a new report covering 46 nations and more than 800 occupations by the research arm of McKinsey & Company. Now, the consulting company said Wednesday that both developed and emerging economies would be impacted. Machine operators, fast food workers, and back office employees are among those who'd be the most affected if automation spreads quickly through the workplace. Let me stop there for a second and just for a second give you an example of one area where we might not consider this to affect jobs immediately, but it will have an immediate impact, and that's the financial sector. Everybody's looking for a leg up. When you talk about success is measured oftentimes in nanoseconds and how fast you can trigger a deal or buy or sell. When you talk about trying to get every second they possibly can of an advantage over their competition, it is a cutthroat world, and they will do anything that they have to in order to gain that competitive edge. So, of course, employing AI would be an enormous advantage, and you're seeing banks just scramble to develop this technology as fast as humanly possible. You have Wall Street CEOs that are developing AI after their own brains so that when they leave, they can leave their companies to the AI to run, knowing full well that it will run it just as they have left it and think the way that they do. And who knows? I mean, this is crazy. So you're looking at, again, financial sector, all of your data, all your traders, all this stuff now being taken over by artificial intelligence. It said machine operators. We look at machine operators today. Of course, the more automated you make the equipment, the less people you need to operate the machinery. They're gone. Fast food workers, absolutely. Receptionists, see you bye. We can go on and on as far as how AI and how robotics start to impact the labor force. I think this is a very conservative number. I think that this number will actually end up being much higher, especially by 2030. Reason being is because we oftentimes don't or can't envision just how far things will go when we look at things into the future, right? So we look at, say, the 1960s when Star Trek came out, and you look at some of the technology in Star Trek that's supposed to be 23rd, 24th century technology that we've already achieved and surpassed today, not 40, 50 years later. Something that we envision hundreds of years in the future has already been achieved and surpassed. So it's kind of hard to quantitatively put a number on this stuff, but I can say that you looking at history and seeing how people have predicted it in the past, we really understate things when it comes to this because we don't have a crystal ball, basically, that we can look into and see. It says even if the robot rise is less rapid, some 400 million workers could still find themselves displaced by automation and would need to find new jobs over the next 13 years, which, of course, would be fewer and much more competitive. Now, interestingly enough, I will say this, and this is something that's big. Trades, I cannot say this enough. If you want to have longevity as far as in the workforce under this current construct, for as long as they can hold it together, your best bet is trades, skilled labor. You're going to be the last ones to be replaced. You're going to be the last ones to be replaced, especially in the field of maintenance, because the last people to go are going to be the ones to fix the machines. And then after the machines are gone, then what? After the machines have finally figured out how to fix themselves, well, then, it's game over. But all I'm saying is that if you want longevity over the course of time, you got to go skilled labor. White collar work, college guy, it was great. Doctors, we're seeing robotics and AI in the operating rooms now, doing brain surgery more effectively at less cost and in a much less time. So I'm telling you, this is going to come on, and it's going to come on fast. And the people that know what's best for us, this is not even tracking on their radar. And maybe because they don't want it. I don't know. Notice how this coincides also with the depopulation agenda. That's the other thing that just blows my mind. Is that at the same time, they're starting to see their work come to fruition, where you have plummeting birth rates in the developed world. I mean, just unbelievably, they've just flatlined. Well below the 2.1 necessary to maintain the population, let alone grow it. You're looking at United States 1.8. The only thing that keeps us going is immigration. Other countries that don't have immigration, like the United States, they're in big, big trouble. Thailand, Japan, over in Europe, birth rates plummeting. Because why? Who the hell wants to bring children into this world now? I mean, it's crazy. I don't blame people for not wanting to have kids. At the same time, though, look at how desires-based we become, how self-centered we become, how the culture of convenience has made it inconvenient to have children. And eventually it'll come to the point where government's going to have to manage that too. Like Brave New World. But they'll have the technology at this point to pull it off. And then they can engineer different worker classes and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's crazy. This is like, if you've read 1984, if you've read Brave New World, you're looking at this stuff saying, you got to be kidding me. It's coming. It's actually happening. What? Oh, man, it's scary, folks. But anyway, yeah, robots projected to replace 800 million jobs. I don't know. I say that number's low. I say it's going to be more upwards of half. The hell with a fifth. This stuff is going to come on so fast and furious, so hot and heavy, that before it's over, it's going to happen so fast that people won't know what hit them. And we're going to have a crisis like you wouldn't believe. Because who's going to work? What's going to happen? Where's the money? How's money going to be? How's society going to function if you don't have labor for money? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # wake the flock up. Have a great day, everybody.